Hi, this is ENX04, and today we're going to build a very simple obsidian farm that produces over 32,000 obsidian blocks per hour. That's about one stack of obsidian every 7 seconds, and the farm can be built in mere minutes using a modest set of materials. Like many other fast obsidian farm designs, this one uses a wither to break the regenerating obsidian platform in the end dimension. Besides being very productive and easy to make, this farm is also quite safe. It's been tested extensively under normal conditions and with extreme behaviors turned on, all without issue. And if you play on a server, the farm is relatively safe for other players as well. Other players that enter the end dimension while you're running the farm aren't attacked by the wither. And when you're done with the farm, the wither is easily killed using an iron golem so that you don't need to worry about the wither escaping later on. The obsidian platform in the end provides the source of obsidian for this farm, since it regenerates whenever anything teleports to the end dimension. The teleported item in this case is a snowball that comes from a snow golem sitting inside the end portal in the overworld. This snow golem is targeting a trapped silverfish, but despite appearances, the snowballs are immediately teleported to the end dimension, where there is a wither that can break almost any type of block around them shortly after being attacked. Interestingly, the same snowball that just came through to regenerate the platform can also be used to attack the wither, if it's aimed correctly. So, 1 second after the snowball strikes the wither will break a 3x3 section of the obsidian platform, and the 9 obsidian drops are then picked up by an array of hoppers underneath. To contain the wither, we surround the head of the wither with blocks and use a chain to hold it down so that the tail is just inside the obsidian. The breaking zone around the wither is 3x3 blocks horizontally and 4 blocks tall, starting at the base of the wither's hitbox. Since the base of the tail is inside the obsidian, and there are 3 blocks between it and the chain, the wither is unable to break the chain and the blocks surrounding its head. The wither could drop down to escape, but the wither tries to fly over its target when it attacks, and so the wither pins itself in this trap as long as it has a target. The player serves as the wither's target in this farm. The wither shoots skulls at the player, but the skulls are deflected by a line of 3 short bubble columns that push the skulls high enough to fly over the player. Most of these skulls that the wither shoots will be black, but a very small portion of them are blue. Blue wither skulls are highly dangerous projectiles because they can break almost any type of block upon impact, so it's important to understand the situations in which they arise. First off, the wither has a chance of shooting a random blue skull when it doesn't have a target, and we can easily prevent this case by having the wither target the player. And this is necessary anyways, in order for the wither to remain trapped against the chain. The second case occurs when the wither is attacked too frequently. If the wither is attacked faster than every 12 game ticks, it may randomly shoot a blue skull. A snow golem shoots a snowball every 20 game ticks, so this pace will avoid triggering any blue skulls, but we still need to be careful. Most mobs can attack every 20 game ticks, so merely having 2 mobs simultaneously attacking the wither is enough for it to start shooting blue skulls. And finally, the main head of the wither has a 1 in 1,000 chance of shooting a blue skull instead of a black one during its normal attack on a target. The trajectory of a blue skull, however, takes a slightly different path from the black skulls. It flies under the blocking wall, and therefore it doesn't destroy it. This blocking wall is only here to ensure that black skulls don't fly off and accumulate in the border chunks. It's not a concern for a few blue skulls to accumulate in border chunks. Even 100 of them would be fine. They eventually fly into the void and despawn, but if you really want to stop all of them, you can build a regenerating cobblestone block with lava and water. Back in the stronghold, we need a couple additional contraptions to help with keeping the farm running, and with starting and stopping the farm. When operating the farm, we need a snow golem to throw snowballs while the player is in the end dimension. To make sure that the snow golem is loaded by the game, we can have another player wait in the stronghold, but it's probably more practical to build a chunk loader, which is just a device that sends entities back and forth between the nether and overworld dimensions. Each entity arriving in a dimension will load the area around the portal for 15 seconds, so these matching portals mutually keep each other loaded in the game by sending boats back and forth between dimensions. Unlike nether portals, items that are teleported through the end portal do not load the end dimension for processing. Instead, these entities are processed only when a player is present. This is an important issue because if you leave the snow golem in the end portal after you're done using the farm, it will continue to send thousands upon thousands of snowballs to accumulate in the end, which can crash the server when it's finally loaded. To keep this from happening, this farm is designed to automatically remove the snow golem from the end portal after a certain period of time. This compact timer relies on the fact that items normally take 5 minutes to despawn, so you can configure the timer to lower the snow golem after 60 minutes, for example, by placing 12 items inside, and the timer will run until each item has a chance to sequentially despawn. This timer also has an additional pressure plate on top that temporarily lowers the snow golem out of the portal. This gives you 5 minutes to travel to the end and summon the Wither on the obsidian platform. This is needed because regenerating the obsidian platform also deletes the 3 layers of blocks over the platform, and we need to be able to place blocks on the platform to summon the Wither correctly. Okay, let's start building. If you haven't already, you'll need to find and secure the portal room in the stronghold. Break the silverfish spawner, load the Eyes of Ender in the portal frame, and set your bed and respawn point here. You'll need to build a chunk loader to keep this room loaded while the farm is running. This particular chunk loader is a very elegant one, designed by Dark. Clear out the space under the portal and set a torch in the middle of it. Stand at the torch and use the information on the F3 screen to face west. And keep in mind that this room might have a different orientation from what you see in your world, but it is critical to face west. Replace the block to the west of the one that you're standing on with a piston. Now turn around and face east and replace the 2 stone brick blocks in front of you with dirt or glass or some other type of non-stone block that can't become infested with silverfish. Set down a boat centered in the middle of these 2 blocks, and then use the targeted block information on the F3 debug screen to scan the walls and floor of the room for any infested block. When you find one, break the block with your fist to release the silverfish and lure it into the boat. Now place another boat centered on the piston, and then summon a snow golem and push it in. Place a dropper 2 blocks away from the piston, facing away from the piston, and set a wooden pressure plate on top of it and another in front of it, and surround the lower pressure plate with glass blocks and a trapdoor to contain the items that will be shot out. Now place a redstone torch on the side of the dropper, and you should see the piston activate to raise the golem into the portal. Remove 2 blocks to access the underside of the dropper, and attach another redstone torch to the block under the pressure plate. You should now see the snow golem lowered out of the portal. Make sure that you've set a bed and set your respawn point here, and then head into the portal. When you arrive in the end, your feet will be at the X, Y, and Z coordinates of 100, 49, and 0, and you will be in the center of the obsidian platform. This is the same in every single game, regardless of seed. If your platform is underground surrounded by endstone, carve out a tunnel 14 blocks long to the east. Make the room 6 wide and 5 blocks high. This will give you enough room to conceptually follow the rest of the tutorial, which will instead assume that the platform is floating separately from the main island. To manage the water that will be flowing from the bubble columns, remove 1 block from the floor next to the platform so that the water will drain here. On the west side of the platform, place lava on top of the obsidian and wait around 15 seconds for it to flow down. Pick up the lava and place water to cast a pillar of cobblestone. Work your way down on the cobblestone so that your feet are at Y45, and then build out a 5x5 platform directly under the obsidian platform. On the middle of the east side of the platform, add a 3x3 array of hoppers. The middle row of hoppers should point to the right side, and your feet should have the X and Z coordinates of 101 and 0 when you stand under the middle hopper. Now add 6 double chests on the right side, and 3 on the left, and add hoppers to feed into the chests on the right so that everything is connected. This storage system will hold about 500 stacks of obsidian, and will take about 1 hour to fill up once the farm is started. Feel free to expand this storage or use a different system that may better suit your needs. Build a staircase back up to the obsidian platform, and go to the southeast corner to bridge out so that your feet are at 102, 49, and 3. From here, bridge out on 7 blocks to the east. Turn left and bridge out on 3 more blocks, and place a distinctive stone block on top of the one at the end. This marks the player station, and your feet should be at 109, 50, and 0 when standing on it. Bridge east on another 5 blocks, and then pillar up on 4 blocks so that your feet are at 114, 54, and 0. Hop down, expand the top of the pillar to make a 3x2 blocking wall, and then remove the 2 blocks from under it. Remove the last 5 bridging blocks, and then place and flip up a trapdoor on the player station with the hinge to the east. This prevents you from being knocked back when the Wither is summoned. You can optionally add another trapdoor next to the player station to help prevent the extremely rare but hypothetically possible situation where an Enderman might teleport into the farm and then try to push you off the player station. But if you use this trapdoor, just be careful that you don't fall through it instead. For underground farms, you can achieve the same effect by surrounding the player with magma blocks to repel Endermen. Go back to the platform and pillar up on 2 temporary blocks in the middle of the east side, and then bridge east 1 more block, and then add a line of 3 soul sand blocks. Remove the temporary bridging block and place water on top of each of the 3 soul sand blocks. Now pillar up on another temporary block, and then add an endstone block. Place a temporary block to the west. Your feet should be at 101, 53, and 0 when standing on the temporary block. Surround the temporary block with endstone, and then replace the temporary block with a horizontal chain. Now head back to the stronghold. It's time to prepare for summoning the Wither, so make sure that you have a diamond or netherite pickaxe, 4 endstone blocks, 4 soul sand, 3 wither skeleton skulls, a bow with a few arrows, 4 iron blocks, a carved pumpkin, a temporary block, and some food. You'll also need some junk items for the despawn timer, 1 for every 5 minutes that you want to use the farm. The collection system shown in this tutorial will fill up in 60 minutes, so I'll need 12 junk items for the dropper. You'll also need 2 more junk items to get the timer started. Drop a junk item on the top pressure plate first, and then drop another on the lower pressure plate. Avoid getting too close to the timer so that you don't accidentally pick up the junk items on the pressure plates, and then load the other 12 junk items into the dropper. Make sure the chunk loader is running, and then go through the end portal so that you can summon the Wither. You have a little less than 5 minutes to complete this task, which should be plenty of time. When you arrive on the obsidian platform, you'll need to isolate the farm to prevent Endermen from wandering into it. So break a few blocks on the bridge between the platform and the main island, or fill in part of the staircase that you used to get to the surface. Now go back to break the obsidian block directly underneath the chain, and make sure that you do not break the hopper underneath. Stack 2 endstone blocks on the other side of the hole, and place 2 endstone blocks under the chain. Set down the soul sand in a horizontal T-shape with the tail of the Wither over the missing obsidian block, and place the 3 wither skeleton skulls to summon the Wither. Now go to the player station and wait for the Wither to explode. Do not crouch when you're at the player station. You must remain fully upright at all times so that the Wither doesn't hit you. After the explosion, shoot an arrow at the Wither, and 1 second later you should hear the sound of blocks breaking. This confirms that the Wither is locked onto you, which makes it safe for other players to enter the end dimension. A few minutes later, you should again hear the sound of breaking blocks, but this time you'll hear it every second, and this confirms that the obsidian platform has started regenerating, and the farm is running. If you run the farm AFK, look straight down while you're away so that you don't accidentally look at an Enderman, or go ahead and put on the carved pumpkin. Also make sure that your server doesn't kick you for inactivity. If this happens, be sure to rejoin your server before other players have a chance to enter the end dimension, and be sure to shoot the Wither with another arrow to make sure that it locks onto you again. When the despawn timer for the farm finally runs out, the block breaking sounds will stop. At this point, you should kill the Wither, or at least get some help in doing so. Place a temporary block on the bridge to the platform and set an iron block on top. Remove the temporary block and finish building the rest of an iron golem. Since the Wither is locked onto you, this single golem will be able to easily defeat the Wither. The iron golem attacks every 20 game ticks, and because the snow golem in the overworld is no longer hitting the Wither with snowballs, the frequency of the iron golem's attacks does not trigger any blue skulls. It's dangerous to summon the Iron Golem while the Obsidian platform regenerates, because the Wither will start shooting blue skulls as a result. Well, I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. Based on reports of the upcoming changes in Minecraft, 1.19 will be our last chance to take advantage of portal spam for farming, so I hope that you enjoy all the possibilities that this Obsidian farm can bring. If you'd like to upgrade this farm, I'd encourage you to stop by Scorpio's YouTube channel. Scorpio is an amazing resource for Wither-related information and serves as the admin for the Wither Archive Discord server. You'll also find many of the concepts that I have used in today's tutorial in the videos of his channel. I've learned a lot from Scorpio, and I can firmly say that this video would not have been possible without him. So thank you, Scorpio, for your expert guidance and for your dedication and contributions to the Minecraft community. I'd also like to thank my Discord community for reviewing the drafts of this video and providing the feedback to help me improve it. Still, there can be some unexpected changes or updates, so be sure to check out the video description so that your build goes as smoothly as possible. Thanks for watching today.